Welcome back to Big Flats, Texas. This is episode 13. Now, in the last episode, I left off saying that I'd be back with you in December. Well, I had to go do some things. As it turns out, this harvest is so close to being done, and our worker is, well, he's doing what workers sometimes do here. This harvest is so close to being done, we can finish off this harvest right now and start getting things put away for winter. But I don't want to enter this episode saying, oh, all we're doing here is putting equipment away. That's not all we're doing. Doing some other things as well. First, let's have a look at what the weather is shaping up to be today. It says rain. Okay, not till later tonight. This right here is going to be about the extent of what we're doing today, as this is the last run for the harvester on this field. Last episode was pretty much catching up and getting this field done. We also leased this grain cart, which I'm glad I just remembered. We're going to be returning this grain cart as soon as we get this row done. I'm going to be emptying this into the bin and then taking it down to the shop and return it. And that's right, our other harvester is down there for repairs. The harvester itself is fine. As it turns out, it was just the header. It has a used header on it, and it's seen quite a bit of use in its day. It's down there getting repairs at the shop. It ran, if you watch the episode, then you've seen it, and if not, there's a link to the entire Big Flats Texas playlist in the description below, and I've probably put a link in the comments as well. But that harvester ran about 3 or so runs down this field, and I noticed it was running slower, and that's why the header was in need of repair. It's down there right now. Just getting some more grain here. The harvester can finish up the rest on his own, so I'm going to run this down and put this in our silos and return our leased grain cart. As soon as we sell our grain, I will be buying one of these. This thing has been a big help for this field. The harvest of this field could not have been done as quickly and efficiently as it was without this Demco grain cart. This thing is incredible. It's got enough capacity to hold the hoppers of both harvesters, and its offload speed, wow, it practically shakes the earth when it starts dumping out of this thing. It's pretty great. We're about done with our day here, just putting equipment away. Next month, that's this video. Yeah, once this is done, this episode, we will be selling the grain. So it's not just putting equipment away and cleaning things up. Nope, we will be selling our grain. There might be some things to do over the winter. Perhaps this winter might construct that road I've been talking about behind the bins, but this episode, most definitely, we will finally see the profits from the wheat that I harvested, well, before this series started. Let's go ahead and, yeah, this winter might be the time to get back here and at least get this tree down and get something put in back here, as that's kind of become a main thoroughfare for the mother bin. Yeah, definitely buying one of these. There's another bigger variant at the store, but I think this is all we need. All we need is this is the right size for this farm right here, considering, yeah, it'll hold the hopper of both harvesters. It's really all it needs to do. It'll hold the hopper for both harvesters. And if you'll recall, while I was running it up down the field, there was a couple times when it was full, when I hit the brakes, and I kind of fishtailed a bit on the brakes twice. I ran up to the mother bin with it, not thinking about my speed and the sheer weight of this thing. Yeah, well, this is not a little JCB. This is a large JCB 8330, and the weight of this thing made the whole tractor fishtail under the weight of the brakes. So there's a larger variant, but I think this is good for the tractor we have to pull it, for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get this. Yeah, I'm going to take this straight to the shop, get this returned, and we'll check on our harvester that we left up there. Let's get this returned. Man, that has been, yeah, I'm going to be buying one of these for sure. Just about that, together with the repair costs for that harvester header, just about drained the little money we have. So it's a good thing that grain selling time is coming up. All right, I had a little trouble with the header there. Hopefully now I can get it hitched up and get it back to the farm. There we go. Now let's carefully get this back, and I'll get the rest of the equipment back here. What a perfect picture of the end of harvest season. Right as the sun sets, driving the harvester back to the farm with the header. Just got a few things to get put away here. Definitely a few things. Where did I have the header parked? Well, I'm going to park this over by the wash station, and we're going to get everything else settled back here. Does this have grain in? Ah, this has grain in it still. Boy, I'm glad I thought to look at that. Let's put this in the bin and see what our overall total take is from these two fields. There we go. I found the unload point. That was a little tricky. Let's get this offloaded and yeah, park this by the wash station here. And that's going to go with all the equipment, really. I'm going to get some stuff queued up here for this. Now we have the matter of these soybeans here. This trailer can't dump into that auger, so what we're going to do is, right now the railroad silo is full of wheat and barley, I believe. So this is going to wait, and here soon, here in a few minutes, when we run the train through and empty out the depot there, the train depot, I'll be able to run this down and store this in there. This is going to be stored at the train station, waiting for sale in spring. So for now, just, yeah, we have the cover on, and I'll park this in our front yard. All right, so let's see about repairs for the JCB. Can we afford it? Yeah, just barely. Just barely. We have $1,700 left. So, well, yeah, sale time for the grain couldn't have come at a better time. All right, there's the JCB waiting for us. Let's get this header on here. And this is the last of it. Once we get this back at the farm, we'll have a look at selling in December. Is this on here good? Yeah, I think so. That's a beautiful sight at the end of the season. Oh, yeah, we couldn't have finished in a better time. I mean, not just time of day, but yes, also given the money situation. Which, honestly, going into December, vehicle running costs may just whittle at that a little more yet. That is a beautiful shot right there. That is a beautiful shot. I had to say that on the way back home with the harvester. This picture sums up. This could be on a postcard. Well, back there where I had it perfectly lined up. That could be a postcard for farming in Texas. Okay, happy December, everyone. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Still here at the farm. Did have to take out a little bit of a loan just to make it on running costs, just for the property. Yes, for the property costs. Had to take out $10,000 more just to make it into December. But now we can sell that grain that I've been holding all year long. So that's what we're up to right now. And I'd like to check the store to see if there's anything good for sale that we need. And there's not. And let's check. Let's check on, well, we need to check on the cattle. And of course, yeah, this is going to be the time to sell our grain. Looks like the barley would have been better last month, but that's okay. Everything else we're going to sell, yeah, this year in Greenville. We're going to send it off in the train to Greenville. So it's time to orchestrate all of that business. Okay, still getting the last of the equipment put away after our fall harvest. Got both harvesters washed off, put away. Get some of this closed up. The JCB is still over there with the other header, but most everything now is put away. We can work with moving some of this stuff for selling grain. The truck still has soybeans from that field over there, and that's going to go in the railroad silo once I get it emptied out a bit. This auger can be put away for now. This auger can be put away for now. Let's get it folded up here. Yeah, we won't need this auger again, not until we start harvesting. So we can get this folded up and moved somewhere out of the way. All right, I think we can tuck this auger in nicely right there. And now for the first time, we can finally break out our red auger. As I have been filling these silos the entirety of last year, it's time to empty them out. I know one thing for sure I want to look at purchasing this year is, if we can, another truck. Since we have the cattle farm, another truck would be handy so we don't have to shift the one we have between both farms. The purchase of a grain cart is something I've been looking forward to, that I've been mentioning to you as long as this series has been running, and we're going to have that. That's part of the decision not to plant this winter. Part of the decision to wait to plant till spring is we'll have the big grain cart, or the big air cart to plant with. That's something we'll be purchasing, but a lot of it depends on how much money we get from the sale of our grain, and we'll see that shortly. I'm going to go ahead and slowly wheel this auger over to our bins so that we can start offloading and selling. We're going to wheel this over to the wheat bin. It looks like wheat is what we're going to be selling first due to current price fluctuations. So let's get this set up here. You make sure it's high enough to offload into the trailer. First, I got to see if, well, the first thing we have to do is go down to the train and see if we can offload the soybeans that are currently in the truck. Well, we can go ahead and maybe sell what wheat we have down there. We have wheat down there. Okay, that's ready to offload. That's wheat. So how many soybeans did we get overall? Overall, 309,000 liters. That's a lot of soybeans. That's maybe not as much as I counted on. I was pretty loose, and I was making conservative estimates, and I knew I was, so I'm prepared to get less than I estimated. Don't have a clear estimation, but that is going to be a little less than I estimated, but it's still going to be a lot of money, but that's not going to be again until spring. For now, let's get this. I'm going to get this down to the train depot and work with some stuff down there and shipping off to Greenville. All right, just had a look at the weather, and we're not expected to get snow until January, so that's good. That gives us the month of December to get done what we need to around the farm. As I know, we're gonna have to check on the cattle here soon, but we got plenty of time before the snow hits. All this month we should be clear. Now let's see if there's room to take this into the train depot, and I'm going to see about renting us a train because we're going to need to use it to run the grain to the next town. Yes, it took all our soybeans. I'm going to go ahead and reserve us a train here, as I don't know when it'll be coming through again. Luckily it's a big train because we're going to need... crap. All right. Oh, the train's right here. That was excellent timing. I'm going to offload what we can into the train. I'm not sure what all we have stored here, but it's quite a bit. That timing. I've never seen timing like that. All right, now we got control of the train. Now it can be a little tricky to know which car we're on. Let's start offloading wheat. All that wheat. These train cars have a lot of capacity. Do I have the roadblock down there? Yeah, I do. Sorry, cars. Wow, that's a lot of wheat. And that's only what's here. There's still a lot more back at the farm. So it's going to take a couple runs with the train. There's 3 different crops, but I think there's only 2 crops stored here. Yeah, we're going to have to put some more wheat in the next car. All right, we also have some barley and some oats here. Not a whole lot, but let's go ahead and unload what we can into the train car. So all of this stuff is getting sold this month. I may be able to see as far down as 1 more car. And let's see if we can offload oats. This is a big load. This is the biggest load I've ever run by train. I can safely say that. We got 2 of the covered carts and 2 of the open train cars running down to Greenville, Texas. This is our first big sale. This is our first sale of this series in Big Flats, Texas. Greenville, yes. And that's a lot of money for our first run. That's pretty good. We can go ahead and clear out our bank loan now before that gets forgotten about. Pay back, I believe it was $310,000. Let's go ahead and get that paid back while I'm thinking of it. So we see what we have to work with. Do not like having outstanding loans. That's the only loan I've taken out on this map. All right, and we're left with a tidy sum. Now let's get this back to the farm because we've got more grain. More grain to go to Greenville. This is why I've been looking forward to all this time. Hard work pays off. And this is, yeah, it's a lot of work to plant, a lot of work to harvest, and it's a lot of work to sell because, well, let's see how much. Everything we have left, yeah, is going to be at home now. I was already on the page. And it's going to take a few runs down to the store. Yep, that's going to be a few loads down to the store. Down to the train, that is. That's 1 load for the... Let's see, that's 1 load for the oats, 1 load for the sorghum. So that's 2 loads. And then that's 5 more loads there. Yeah. Just a hair over 5 loads. So we're just going to haul 5 down and maybe save some for the cows. The cows, that's something we're going to want to check on. So that's 7 loads down to the store. All right, here's our first load. First load of wheat going into the train depot. Chipping away at it, slowly chipping away at it. The silo down there only holds 500,000 liters, and that's why I've had to store the bulk of it up here. Because between the wheat and the barley and the oats that we had down there, I wasn't sure there was room for more. I didn't know exactly how much was down there. All right, and here is the last load of grain from our farm coming down here, and the train is like right behind me. So let's stop the train before it drives by. This was good timing also. Yep, there's the train right there. All right, so the train will stop when it gets here, and everything's down here now. So I don't remember what we got from the wheat that we sold earlier, but I'll have it on the screen here, and we can add that. I'll add that up with what we sell from this. But this is the rest of our grain. This is barley right here, yeah. Or whatever this is, oats, my bad, oats. Let's get this dumping into the train silo. And let's hop in the train. So we got wheat, oats, and the sorghum still has to go. And I believe it's going to be 2 cars. Yeah, it's going to be 2 train cars, I think, for the wheat. All right, so there's all the wheat that I pulled out of our silos of the farm. I pulled out 350,000. That's 5 loads with the truck. There is our sorghum filled. And that's it. All we have left in storage now is the soybeans. All right, so let's get this down to Greenville and see what our total was from last year from our fields. This is our fields, plus the barley and the sorghum are from this. Those are the leftovers from 2 of the contracts we took up. All right, so in loading the train, I forgot some oats, so I'm just sending these down to Greenville now. Add this to our total. All right, so another 58,000. When I left the truck to unload, I forgot that the truck stopped unloading. You know, the grain carts don't, but the truck did stop unloading, so I had to haul the train back and get those oats in there. So that is our total take on the harvest. I know one purchase for sure that I've been looking forward to making, that we're going to make, because the farm's been needing this for a while, and it's going to be nice to have this tool for our next planting season early next year. Finally, we can invest in this. I've had this hoe drill sitting out under our covered area for some time. Now we can buy this to go with it. Okay, so all in for the air cart with the options that we want, that's a whopping, that's $389,000, but I kind of saw that coming. I actually thought it might be more with the options. So that is fine. I'm fine with that. This is set up the way we want, and I did, maybe it was a bit much of me, but I did paint a number 1 on the side because, hey, who knows, right? Personally, I don't see it, but why not? So it's got a number 1 painted on it just in case. So that was already kind of spoken for. I can't wait to go to the store and bring that guy home. That's going to be fun to bring home. We're going to do that here. Let me get the truck back to the house. I've been waiting to buy that thing for this entire series. I've been talking about it, thinking about it. Let's get the truck back home, and we're going to have to move some big equipment to get that back to the farm. But that is something, that is one of the things that we worked for all year to get, and it's good to finally get it. It looks like we still have enough money left over to put towards a tractor. Might have a couple tractors in mind, and we'll definitely be picking up a new truck as well. Here we are back at the farm. The augers are all put away. The only thing left we have in our bins is soybean. Definitely gonna get a new truck, so we have a truck specifically for the cattle farm. I was thinking about tractor. I would like, if you guys want to leave your input in the comments below, I want to see your input on what you think we should get for a tractor. You've seen many situations where we could use another tractor on the farm. I'll hold off on buying a tractor, and if any of you have any thoughts on that, feel free to comment. We'll leave that money that we have for that. Choices are, well, it's a John Deere farm, so I'm looking at John Deere's. Anything in the 9R series, 9RT, 9RX, things like this, 8R. See what you guys say in the comments below. I'd like to keep it John Deere themed with the tractors. There's lots of cool choices here we can add to the farm. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm going to pick us up another truck. A truck for the cattle farm is simply something we're going to want. This will be great right here for the cattle farm. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this. This is just something we need that I'll be waiting for us at the shop. Right now, however, we have something fun to pick up in the form of an air cart. Now that thing is big. That thing is no joke big. We're going to want something big to pull it back. Let's get the 9RX out, and it could use a wash anyway, and probably fuel and possibly maintenance. So yeah, we're going to want something at least this big to pull the air cart back home. Let's get this guy washed off. Man, this thing saw a lot of use this year. Yeah, I've had this the entire series. Yeah, this 9RX. Bought this with money from the first harvest, I believe. All right, that's good enough. Get it sprayed down and all the little worky bits in there. This thing has 12.7 hours on it. Yeah, bought this brand new, so this has seen a lot of use. Oh, I can't wait to get this piece of machinery. This has me really excited getting this machine. I can already see it down there at the dealership. You see that big green, the green and orange down there, or the green and yellow down there, sorry. It's so big, we're actually gonna, it's gonna take a different process to fill it actually. I won't be able to fill it down here. I'll have to fill it at the farm. And I actually have an auger wagon sitting there that you've not seen me use yet. I have a green and yellow auger wagon down at the farm, and it's going to come into use because we're gonna need it to fill this air cart. And so perhaps you've thought that the use of the big bud on our farm was a bit overkill. Well, not anymore. The use of the big bud will very much be warranted with this air cart, which we just purchased. All right, so we got this guy here, and wow, I've been waiting for this thing for a long time. Luckily, I have the equipment to fill it. Now, this is going to be a slow trip back to the house. And yes, yeah, I mean, I was just thinking, I'm glad I have the big bud to operate this on the field, but at the same time, it's John Deere. Wouldn't it look better being operated by the 9RX? Yes, perhaps it would. Perhaps it would look better being operated by the 9RX. But either way, the first chore is to get it to the farm. This is where I'd like to have, if only I had someone else here to run a pilot car for me. All right, how far do we need to run this? Okay, very slowly here. All right, very carefully, we can get this home. Oh, does it have a beacon on it? It does have a beacon on it. Yeah, I was looking for a beacon on it. It has one. The thing was just so big. It's like driving down the road pulling the Death Star. Jeez. Planting is going to be... I do plan on keeping the seeder that we have, because this with the hoe drill that goes with it, we're not going to be able to work on the ends of the fields. It's like, see, like up there by the trees around that very compassionate neighbor's house. We're not going to be able to work around those areas with this. So I am keeping our 13-meter seeder that we have. I think that's just the best way to go. But this is going to make planting out in those big fields otherwise much easier. All right, now carefully down this road. It's actually not as heavy as I thought, although it's not filled right now. But it's a little heavier than the tractor. I actually thought it would be a lot more. And when we get ready for planting next year, I will get to filling this. Now, this actually might just fit in the tool shed. You know, it might, but then again, I'm looking at the scaffolding on top. I'll give it a look. If not, it can go over with its counterpart tool by a big bud. That's about what I wanted to get done for this year. I'll wait for your guys' input on what tractor. I'd like to see what you guys think. What tractor should we buy? I'll hold off on that. A tractor purchase, and that'll do us pretty good. One more thing, however, this year is we need to check on the cattle, and we have a brand new semi-truck. I do not see this. Maybe it might fit in here, but you know, if it fits in here, I won't be able to get the other tools out. So let's just put it with the other planting equipment over here where there's plenty of room. That is one heck of an assembly there. That kind of does call for the big bud. I mean, this tractor will obviously do this, of course, but weight alone, it's going to be a lot easier to move around with the big bud, as the big bud actually almost weighs as much as this. Now let's see, how do we want to loop this around? Very carefully. Parade this around the farm while I get it parked and set. Well, I just want to watch my turning radius. I don't want to get caught in any trees. This is not something you want to back up. And that's also, again, you know, that's why we're keeping the 13-meter seeder that's hooked up to the big bud right now, because we're not going to want to use this on the edges of the fields. This is for all the meat in the middle there. And once we get that field down there, one of these days, it's going to shine down there. So let's get this set in here, and then I do want to check on the cattle. All right, get our new truck here. Let's go check on the cattle. And I'm trying to think, on the way there, do I want to grab the other semi-trailer? Nah. No, we'll just use because the semi-trailer is by the main farm. Well, because we got to load some TMR in to feed the cattle. We'll just use the forage wagon. It's at the cow farm. So I'll meet you guys down at the cow farm with our new truck, and we'll get our cattle fed because I didn't tend to them on November. So get the cattle fed for November and December. They should be good for the winter. I'll get them full of TMR. Actually, on my way to the cattle farm, I was passing by this farm, and I just remembered we can't use the forage wagon. Obviously, this can't operate the forage wagon. It's a good thing I remembered that. So we're going to grab the semi-trailer, and I'll meet you guys down there. TMR, and let's have a look at what the cattle need, because I'm sure they're running low. Yeah. Let's see. We got 70,000 there. Oh, because it would have been in productions. That's my bad. 70,000 in there, and it's still running. There's another trailer load. There's another trailer load easily. So, wow, it's still running. It's been running all month. Well, it's been doing us a good job. So, one trailer load to each cattle pen is what the doctor ordered. So let's get this over there to our hungry heifers. And I want to have a look. Well, now that we have some more money, we can look at getting more cattle as well. Fill up these other pens. That is definitely something that I'll be doing. Let's see which one is first. This one over here is the first one. Hello, cattle. We got some food for you. It does seem a ridiculous amount of feed for these feed troughs, so a little bit of suspension of disbelief is required there. These pens each hold 100 cattle, although they only have... This trailer is tricky. I'd like to get a new trailer, but when one becomes available. I like this trailer, but it becomes tricky with some of these unload points. So that is the first pen fed. Let's get filled up for the next pen. We'll take one trailer load to each. While that's loading, let's close these doors for the winter. We won't be coming in here. How are these though? How are these? Okay, so they are done processing, and I'll move that around. I'll get that shifted over the winter because, yeah, seeing how long it took to cook up that TMR, I will get that shifted around actually. So, yeah, let's do open these. I need to shift those over to the TMR mixer there. Still more work to be done with the cattle. Well, not really. We are done getting TMR. That door I can close. We're done getting this for the year. We are done with that. So I'm going to get the cattle fed. Guys, thanks so much for following along this season. We'll be back tomorrow with an episode of American Truck Simulator, just like always. And Sure Shooting will be back here the following day with episode 14. We're going to keep going into next year. Series isn't going anywhere, just finishing up for the year is all. But we'll be back with a new episode on the regular schedule. So thanks a lot for watching, and tell me what you think of our new equipment and any opinion you have on equipment we could get going forward tractor-wise. I'd love your opinion on what kind of John Deere tractor we should get to complement our fleet. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.